Hello, welcome to section 3.1. We are on to unit 3, and today we're going to be doing quadratic inequalities. I've actually already sort of done this with you, but I think it's important to do it again and look at it in different ways. So our central questions today are, what are quadratic inequalities? What does the greater than mean for an interval? What does a less than mean for an interval? We know that. We know the green and the blue answers, or we should. The green should mean positive and the blue should mean negative. And what would the equal to do to the interval? And we've also already done that. All right, so just quick recap. If I gave you these two graphs, well, actually the same graph, but on this one, here is the equation. It's greater than 0. That means where is it positive? Now this is the algebra work, the algebraic work. They factored it and then they set each one of those equal to 0 using the zero product property, or ZPP. And you get x is less than 0 or x is greater than 3. And if you look at the graph, it's just easier to think, where is it positive? Where is it above the x-axis? And that's where it's shaded blue. And they wrote it here in inequality notation. And remember now in Math 2, we need to be aware of interval notation. So that would really be negative infinity up to 1, union 3 to infinity. Imagine that you smush that blue down to the x-axis. All right, and there's the interval notation right there written out for you. Now, what if I had the same graph, the same equation, but less than 0? That means where is it negative? Where is it below the x-axis? And that would be between 1 and 3. Over here's the interval notation. Of course, they gave the inequality notation, which is not preferred, okay? All right, so let's jump straight into an example. Look, this is given to you in terms of y's. So let's just imagine that they're x's and enter the x's into Desmos. So x squared minus 17x plus 70. There it is. I entered in Desmos and plopped the graph over here for you. And this is less than 0. So what does this notation mean? It means where is it negative? Where is this graph negative? Where is it below the x-axis? And guys, that's right here. And that's between 7 and 10. Using parentheses, of course, because we don't have the equal to on there. All right, now this is the first one of your note cards for this lesson, note card 68. And just a quick example, this one doesn't already have it greater than 0, so I wanted to give you an easy one like this where you have to realize you've got to get it set where it's greater than 0. So on this one, you have to add 7 to both sides. 13 plus 7 is 20, and that's how we get x squared plus 9x plus 20 is greater than 0. I plopped it into Desmos, and there's the graph. I gave some key points so you could see the x-intercepts are -4 and -5. What does this notation mean when you have a greater than 0? That means positive. Where is it above the x-axis? Guys, that's here and here. We've been doing this for quite a while now, so this should be pretty quick for you. If you smush those two little pieces down, that would be negative infinity all the way to -5, union -4 to infinity. Pause me and finish up note card 68. All right, now we're on to note card 69. This one looks a little bit trickier. We've got some parentheses here. We don't have a 0 over here. So of course we need to distribute. After we distribute, which right here I distributed x squared plus x, excuse me, then we're going to need to subtract 112 from both sides and add 5x to both sides. You can also think of that as tossing those things over, which we've talked about. Just tossing that over, that becomes a -112. Tossing that over becomes a 5x, and you've got to combine it with like terms to get 6x. Once I did that, I typed the left side into Desmos, and here's the graph. Got some key points for you. I had to scroll out quite a bit. As you can see, the vertex is at -3, -121. But what does this mean? That's greater than 0. So that means positive. Where is it above the x-axis? So again, that's here and here. Smush them down. You should get this interval notation, no problem. Now, I know this one wasn't asking for negative, but if it were, it would be from -14 to 8. So pause me and finish up note card 69. All right, so this one's just an example I want to do with you. We've got A's. Instead of x's, that's okay. Just where the a's are, enter x's into Desmos. So you're going to have to distribute and rearrange to get a less than 0. So here's my distribution step. Of course, the left side is just x squared plus 3x plus 2 is less than. And on the right side, that would be -3a minus 6. I'm sorry, -3x minus 6 because I'm letting the a's be x. Then I'm going to toss the 3x over, the -3x over, and toss the -6 over. So add 3x to that 3x would be a 6x, and add 6 to that 2 would be an 8. And it would be less than 0. So here's the graph. I tossed it in there into Desmos, the left side into Desmos. And then the less than 0 means where is it negative? So where is it below the x-axis? And guys, that's between -4 and -2. So your interval notation is parentheses, -4, comma, span to -2 parentheses. All right, this is note card 70. This one has A's, and it's got a less than 10A. So of course we're going to need to do X's instead of A's into Desmos, and we're going to need it to not distribute this one. We just need to rearrange. Let me fix that. Rearrange to get a less than 0. So of course that's just tossing the 10A over. When you toss the 10A or again the 10X over, it would be a -10X, and make sure you put it in standard form. So that would go in the middle there. It's less than 0. This means negative. This one is a tricky one. This one, they really are trying to get you. They're trying to trick you and see, do you really understand? So where is this negative? Is this thing ever under the x-axis? No, it's not. It hits the x-axis at 5 or touches it at 5, but it never goes below. So the answer is never, not, none, not applicable. And you could write any of those things, but the best way to write it is this little circle or 0 with a line through it. It represents the null set or the empty set. So you need to get used to that. That means no solution, aka no solution, okay? And that's a Greek symbol. So pause me and finish up note card 70. All right, here we are on the next one. We've got an a squared plus 25 is greater than 10a. You might go, Miss Sharp, we just did this one. We did less than 10a on note card 70. So now on note card 71, we're going to do greater than 10a. So it's the same graph, the same rearranging, except we have a greater than 0 here. And this means where is it positive? Above the x-axis. And if you're not careful, you will say all the time, Miss Sharp, -infinity to infinity. But in fact, this is only above the x-axis if right here and right here, not on the x-intercept. So you have to split it like this. So it's above the x-axis everywhere except when x equals 5. So it'd be -infinity to 5, union 5 to infinity, because we cannot include the 5. All right, so pause me and finish up note card 71. All right, note card 72, it's the same thing, except it's got a greater than or equal here. All right, so same thing. Rearrange. Goodness, did I not fix that over here? I don't think I did. Rearrange to get a greater than or equal to. Let's get that. To get a greater than or equal to 0 here. Same ways we've been doing, except we have a different symbol here. So what does the greater than or equal to mean? Again, we did this at the end of Unit 2. Just want to make sure you understand that this means where is it positive and on the x-axis. So guys, that's everything. That's everything. Everywhere. So it's -infinity to infinity. Now, again, we've already done this in Unit 2. This is just another unit, another way to look at it, okay? So make sure you pause me and finish up note card 72. All right, so now we're on to the last note card, and it's x squared greater than or equal to 4, parentheses, x minus 5. You're going to need to distribute and rearrange to get greater than or equal to 0. So when you do that, you're going to get x squared is, I keep copying that over, and it's like humongous. Okay, so x squared is greater than or equal to 4x minus 20. So then you're going to have to subtract the 4x over and add the 20 over, and you'll get here. And it's greater than or equal to 0. And what does that mean? Where is it positive and on the x-axis? So includes the x-intercept. And guys, it doesn't even have x-intercepts. But where is this positive? It's all the time. So it's -infinity to infinity. Now, what if it said, where is it negative? You would say, no solution, that null set, that circle with the line through it. So pause me and finish up note card 73. All right. Great job, guys. Thank you for making it through this 10-minute video. Have a great day.